Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back into another edition of Astros Recap. David Artis back at it here at the KTRH Studios. Turn the volume down here there for you a little bit. Any background noise you do hear will be what is currently on the radio. It is Sunday night evening, 6:35 p.m. It is September 17th, 2023. So we'll get this video out here, hopefully in about an hour or two. A lot to break down. Not a good week for the Astros as they, yes, against the A's and the Royals, they went 2-4. So that's obviously unacceptable. Terrible, terrible week. They actually got the win today to salvage a game. They were in, both these series. They had to win the third game just to salvage a game and avoid the sweep. So, yeah, that's the bad news. Here's the good news. Both the Rangers and Mariners got swept over the weekend, which is crazy. I mean, the Astros are begging them to take the division away from them right now, and it's like they don't want it. I mean, the Rangers there had won 5 in a row. I mean, they swept, because last week they won after losing the opener to the A's at home. They won Saturday and Sunday. Then they go into Toronto and sweep them. And then they get swept, I think, in Cleveland. But the Guardians are terrible. That's the thing with the Rangers. They're really back and forth. Been very streaky this year. So it's hard to predict the Rangers. The Mariners, I mean, there was a while back where it felt like they'd never lose. They've really cooled off. But, I mean, you look up and the Astros, after everything that took place over the weekend, actually gained a game on the Rangers and still lead our division by a game and a half. That being said, and I want to look at this and make sure I get it right, the Astros lead their division by a game and a half, but they're 2.5 games of being out of the playoffs altogether. And, they got Seattle coming up. I want to double check the schedule over here. I'm looking to it. So, yeah, they won't. Starting next Monday, a week from tomorrow, is when they'll start their series, the Mariners, which, if things sort of stay where they're at, that's a very important series for the Astros at least. I mean, they're 2-8 against the Mariners this year. So that's in no way, shape, or form good. They have to find a way to not get swept in that series. Now, the goal is always 2 of 3, but depending on where we're at, I might change my sort of expectations. But yeah, I mean, the Astros this week, so we'll sort of walk you through some of these games. Monday against the A's, they got shut out. The game wasn't even close. I mean, well, it was 4-0, so they also didn't get absolutely rocked, but they didn't show up to score a run. A guy by the name of, I'll make sure I get this right again here, but they had, God, who's this guy? I can't name A's players right now. It's very hard, so this might take a little longer. Mason Miller, who started, only went 2 innings. He walked 1, gave up a hit, struck out 3, but I don't know if he got hurt or what the deal was. But this guy, Ken Waldichuk, came in with 6 scoreless innings, didn't even allow a hit, walked a guy, struck out 3. Astros offense is to blame entirely for that game. Now, I do want to give a little bit of blame to Framber Valdez, who went 7 innings, so he actually gave you a length. 4 hits, 300 runs. It was a quality start, struck out 10, walked 1. But, yeah, Montero gave up a run in the 9th as well. ERA goes back over 5 for Montero. Maton got a scoreless solid inning there. But yeah, Framber, I mean, it's not a bad start, but I would expect better from Framber, which was today's start. He was good today, so we'll get to that coming up here. But they also lose Tuesday, 6-2. And again, the offense was just lifeless. Verlander was terrible. I mean, I don't know. Verlander has not done a good job since being. He's had some good starts since being traded over here, but he's also had some clunkers. This was one. He actually got through 7 innings. He had back-to-back starts where your starters got through 7, which isn't something the Astros have done a lot of lately, it feels like. But he gave 8 hits and 5 earned runs. Struck out 7. ERA magically still at 3.39. But takes the loss, 11-8. Mashinsky, Kunal came in. Those are September call-ups. I don't know why they were in the game. Because I felt like at 5-2, we still had a fighting chance. But Mashinsky gave up the run in the 8th, 6-2. But again, the offense didn't show up. Wednesday, they did enough. I know Jordan had a big 3-run home run. Got the scoring started. Kyle Tucker hit a home run late in the game. Who else hit a home run? Someone else hit a home run. But to find, like... I can't get, like... So Bregman had a home run. Bregman had a solo shot. He went back-to-back with Alvarez down the 3rd. Diaz had an RBI double. Tucker hit his 27th home run. And we pitched a good game. I think that was Hunter Brown. They're very careful with Hunter Brown. They didn't have him go but 5 innings. Now, you had a pretty good, well-rested bullpen after your starters, although Verlander wasn't good, got you through 7. And Valdez the night before. So, they were very cautious with not allowing Brown to go more than 5 innings. He only threw 78 pitches. Struck out 2, walked 7, but everything else was scoreless. So, gets the win, and his record is 11-11 now. 4.61 ERA. That still needs to go way down for him to be any, Yeah, it's him and Javier. The two issues in the rotation. Montero got a scoreless inning in. Gets the ERA back under 5. Neris came in scoreless. We'll talk about Neris here in a second. Abreu had a good inning, and Presley not a good. I forgot to even mention, had no hitter in this game going into the 9th, and then Presley gave it up. But the no hitter to me was like so far secondary in this. Like I cared little to nothing about the no hitter, little to nothing. In fact, part of me didn't want them to throw it because the importance of the game was getting the win, not throwing a no hit. Like also a combined no hitter. According to the Phillies fans, isn't a real no-hitter, right? But I didn't care about the no-hitter. Part of me didn't want them to get it because I felt like they would have boasted themselves up, or they would have pictured the win would have been about the no-hitter, and I didn't want that. The win itself was what's important there. So part of me wanted them to not throw a no-hitter, and they've done enough of these to where it's numbed. I don't care anymore. Just get wins. Day off Thursday. Friday, they weren't really good. Javier wasn't very good. They didn't score again. I've been saying all year, the Astros lose games. Usually 90% of the games they lose, it's dependent, their offense fails them. Now, the pitching isn't great either, but the pitching I feel like does at least enough in most cases, not all, but most, to give themselves a chance that the offense could just wake up. And I'm so sick and tired of the whole stupid home batters. What the whole... I'm on the radio Monday. Well, not on the radio. I produce a radio show Monday through Friday now, so I get a lot of this Astros chatter talk. Tomorrow we'll talk about the joke of the joke of a performance the Texans put out today, but... We'll talk a little about the Astros. And this whole home batter's eye thing is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. The batter's eye's been there for 7 years now. Let's do the math here. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20. This is the 7th year with the batter's eye out there. I don't want excuses all of a sudden that... you Astros fans out there, the batter's eye is some the mysterious issue of why the Astros can't hit home. The visiting team plays the same scenario. This whole batter's eye thing is just stupid to me. Astros, this is completely on you and your hitters in your lineup. But the whole not hitting at home is just the stupidest excuse I've ever heard. And they go on the road, and they still can't hit. They lose 4-2. Javier just to give you his numbers real quick because I think it's important here. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 earned. He wasn't terrible, but also not great. That wasn't a quality start because he only went 5 innings. Graveman walked a guy, gave up a hit. Scoreless, though. Struck out a guy. Graveman's been very sort of... I expect him to be better than what he's been. Montero gave up a hit and a walk as well. He had the exact same line as Graveman the inning before, but clean inning in terms of he didn't give up a run. Now Maton did. Home run. He still stinks. Two hits. The home run he gave up. Walked a guy. Struck out 2. But Maton is Maton. No faith really there. He's just a middling reliever at this point. And then, oh, God. New name here. They sent somebody down. Bennett Sousa got the 9th inning. And actually, it was a clean inning. Well, he got 1 out because Maton couldn't get out of the 8th. So actually got 1 out. And it was a strikeout. But Bennett Sousa, I'm trying to remember who they sent. They sent somebody down. I think it was a bullpen guy. I'm not exactly sure. But someone, I mean, this whole September call-up thing is, I can't name you everybody in the bullpen at this point. So, Friday wasn't good. Saturday, the offense did sort of show up. It took them a while to get going here, but they did tie the game in the 7th. But every time the Astros would score, the bullpen would cough it right back up. So, who was bad? Hector Neris. God damn, man. J.P. France has not been good his last handful of starts, or 3 of the last 4, whatever it's been. He's hit the skids a little bit. So, a guy who had been the most consistent guy in the rotation has lost it a little bit. But 5 earned runs, and he only got you through 4 1/3. Walked 4 guys, didn't strike out a single batter. So, put our bullpen in a bad spot. Montero did get through that inning, though. That 5th inning, he did walk a guy. I think he actually walked in a run to give J.P. Francis his 5th run. So that wasn't good, but he also got through the rest of that there. Phil Maton came in, gave up a run, a hit. No faith there. Neris came in. I don't know. Like, you look at Neris' numbers, they're solid numbers this year. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. I just don't trust Neris. I can't explain it. I got the loss, and he was bad in this game. Now, he gave up 3 runs. 1 was earned. There was also bad defensive plays. Like, he, on a 1st and 3rd, 1 out, they tried the little safety squeeze, which ended up working for the Royals. A little bunt of the third base line, which if Montero had made the play quickly, he could have made possibly a play at home. I don't know if they get him or not, but he, like, fell down and flipped and, like, trying to field a grounder. Now, granted, he did not look like a very good athlete, and he very well might not be a good athlete. But that looked bad. Bregman made a terrible error. Bregman's errors, by the way, like, people say he's played good third base this year, which I disagree with. I don't think he's played a good third base this year. He's been okay. But his errors this year, and I can think of them. I can think of 3 right off the top of my head. His errors seem to come at crucial situations in terrible spots. But there was bad defense in that inning, but part of it was, Neris gave up, 2 hits. He walked a guy. He wasn't good. He deserved to lose that game. But I feel about Neris. And then Cunell actually getting some time out of the bullpen. He gave up a run of his own. A hit. Struck out a guy. But the Astros offense came to play. Altuve had the big 3-run home run to tie things up there in the 7th. And then Neris coughs it right back up. So every time they'd score, and the Astros even rallied a little bit in the 9th there, but couldn't get things going. So 10-8. You allowed 10 runs to a team who's lost 101 games this year. It doesn't look good. Today, they get the win. 7-1. Kansas City actually scored a run in the 2nd first, but the Astros scored 2 in the 3rd, single runs in the 4th, 5th, and then they tacked on their insurance runs there in the 9th, won 7-1. Fromber was very good this game, so good to see him sort of Like, his line today, 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. That was not even earned. Struck out 5, walked a batter. That's more like it from Valdez start. Abreu got the 8th. Zeros across the board for him. Graveman got the 9th. He gave up a hit, but was scoreless. So, yes, salvaged the game. So, good news, bad news. Bad news, which is where I would always like to start. Astros stink against teams that have lost more than 100 games this year, and what they did this week is completely unacceptable in every way, shape, and form. However, good news. The Mariners and Rangers got swept over the weekend, so the Astros actually ended up gaining a game. And at this point, this season has just been so frustrating. I tell you what, let's get to the playoffs, and I have faith that the Astros, if they get there, we have to continue to say that, if they get there, I have faith that they can flip the switch because they've proven to do that. They've proven it. So let's get there. And whoever wins this division will get the first round bye. So Minnesota's played pretty good baseball. I'm looking at the division standings here. Minnesota's played pretty good baseball of late. They've, 79 and 71. They're 7 games ahead of Cleveland. They actually won 3 straight because they swept Texas over the weekend. But, yeah, I'm just looking at things here. Astros are, game and a half lead, but they're also 2.5 from being out of it altogether. Now, hold on. They have a game and a half lead from being out of the playoffs altogether. Well, no, I think I was right. I said earlier 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 games from being out of the playoffs altogether. Anyway, you got Baltimore coming to town. Baltimore, Tampa Bay had tied them in the division lead earlier this week, maybe Friday. But Baltimore was playing Tampa this weekend. Did take games on Saturday and Sunday, so they're actually back up too. But it's a dogfight for that division. So Baltimore have clinched, they're in the playoffs. So is Tampa, I think. But they're battling it out for the division. So whoever loses that will take the first wild card in the AL, but they are battling it out. So, yeah, they're in a dogfight. So Baltimore, although they come in this week, they're going to be playing. Tampa's played good baseball of late. I know they lost Saturday and Sunday, but, I mean, they were close to catching Baltimore there. We'll see. But, yeah, I want to give you a quick lineup update, hitters-wise, which we'll look here. Really the one guy, and it's been like this all year, Bregman's picked it up. I have to give him some credit, okay? But Jose Abreu, golly, just kill me now. 233. He's been in the 220s, 230s all year. He might have sniffed 240 at one point, but then he drops right back down. Abreu's just, he had 2 RBIs today. No hits, though. There was a sack fly, maybe an RBI ground out, something like that. But Abreu. And what is Dusty doing hitting him cleanup? That's just flat out ridiculous. I don't know what goes through Dusty's mind sometimes. Golly. Yeah, he better be gone after this year. Anyway, Altuve's hitting 311. No arguments there. Bregman 269 again. Bregman has to get to 280. He's hitting 269. Bregman has to get me to 280 to where I'll lay off him for good and stay there. Alvarez hitting 300. OPS over 1,000. Alvarez hit a home run today. Also walked 2 RBIs. He was good. Abreu, we just talked about him. 233. Hitting 4th. That's Dusty's an idiot to hit Abreu 4th in any way. I mean, he should be hitting 7th, 8th, or 9th every game. Brantley 262. I'm okay with that. McCormick 284. Can't argue there. Pena 262. I'll take that every day of the year. Myers 230. He actually had a home run and a triple today. So although the average isn't good, and I'm done defending Myers. I'm off that Myers. I was a big Myers guy, but I'm done with it. And McCormick has outplayed him by 54 points. So, yeah. Keep looking here. Moldy 188. That's par for the course there. Yonder needs to play more. Moldy shouldn't, but Dusty will not do what fans want him to do. Anyway, 3 with Baltimore, 3 with Kansas City. That's a 6-game homestand, last one of the year. And then they'll go out on a 6-game road trip to finish out the year. You got 12 games left. It's crunch time, baby. Let's do it. But I'm just glad to get through this week, basically, and hopefully things will turn around here, and we'll just start winning some series and distance ourselves. So that's where we're at. So sick and tired of hearing the word sweep when it comes to like Oakland and Kansas City, and they still got one more with Kansas City this weekend. But I'm so sick and tired of all these fans and people that say sweep, 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 and the Astros can't win a series to save their lives right now. But keep things in perspective. They are still a game and a half up in their division. So frustrating year, but let's get through it here, and we'll go from there. Coming up, 21 minutes. I got the news to do here in 4 minutes. But we'll wrap things up there, and we'll talk to you again probably same time, same place, same channel, all of it the same. Should be that way actually the next 2 weeks. But yeah, I don't have time on Monday. Astros don't have off days Monday, and I have to work 7 days a week. So yeah. Anyway, wrap things up there. We'll talk to you next week.